Hey, thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap. I'm glad you made it. Here's the headline. Congress approves short-term spending bill avoids shutdown of VA offices. Now, yes, of course, there's certain aspects of the VA that would stay running and you would continue to get your compensation and medical care and that type of stuff. However, there are certain other aspects of the VA that would be impacted. So there's two things I want to do here in this video for you. One, I'm going to read through this article. It's fairly short and see if we can pick out any nuggets. This should only take a couple minutes. And then I'm going to bounce over to directly from the VA what's impacted and what is not given a government shutdown. Just important to be aware, for a lot of us, maybe it's not going to matter, but there will be some veterans who will be impacted in one way or another, and it's important to understand that. So with that, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, share with a friend, all that good stuff. I really appreciate it. If you want to support the channel in other ways, consider being a member. You can go to the homepage. You'll see the highlighted members, and you can hit the join button. Another great announcement is I have partnered with the CivDiv to bring you a co-hosted channel in which we have dialogue going back and forth, and it's just a good way to get more information, and we do a bit of a deeper dive, more of a long format video once a week. So please check that out. That's at Veterans Daily, and I'll put that in the description or the comments or both. All right, so let's jump into this. All right, Congress approves short-term spending bill avoids shutdown of VA offices. That is the headline from the Stars and Stripes. Jumping into it here, Congress on Thursday voted to fund the Department of Veterans Affairs, the Pentagon, and other federal agencies through early March, narrowly avoiding a partial government shutdown. And again, we've averted it now, but if it does ever happen, either now, coming in the future, or well, I guess it's all in the future. Short-term future, long-term future. It's important to understand what aspects of the VA are affected, and I will jump into that in a minute. So let's continue here. The Senate signed off on a short-term funding extension in a 77 to 118 vote, followed by a 314 to 108 vote in the House. Moving on, the bill will maintain spending for veterans programs, military construction, and other federal agencies and programs through March 1st. So we have until March 1st. We're in January, February, then it's March 1st, right? So March, don't even think of March because it's the 1st, right? So by the end of February, remember February is a short month. All right, so March 1st and the Pentagon through March 8th. Funding was set to expire Friday, which is today, and I'm pushing this out today. So for parts of the VA, and February 2nd for the Department of Defense. The approved legislation gives lawmakers time to pass 12 bills, allocating a total of $1.66 trillion to fund the entity or the entirety of the government through 2024 fiscal year, which begins October 1st, 2023 and ends September 30th. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer said the stopgap measure will be sent to the president's desk before midnight deadline on Friday. Failure to approve the bill, so we're just waiting for that. So Senate and House passed it, goes to president has to sign it. Failure to approve the bill in time would have shut down VA offices and provide career counseling, shut down VA offices that provide career counseling and transition assistance services, and furloughed thousands of VA employees, of which, just going to throw it out there, I know that we love to bash the VA, but there are a lot of vets that do work at the VA, right? So they would be impacted in that way. However, medical and benefit services would have continued due to prior funding because it's already allotted way in advance. Avoiding a shutdown is very good news for every American, especially for our veterans, our parents, our children, our farmers, our small businesses, and so many others who would have felt the sting of a government shutdown, Schumer said prior to the Senate vote. There's only 4 or 5 lines left. I'm going to jump over to the VA's list of what's impacted and what's not impacted here in a minute. So the House took up the bill shortly after the Senate, ignoring demands from some Republicans who wanted to see steep spending cuts and immigration policy changes in exchange for their support. Representative Chip Roy railed against the stopgap measure for maintaining the same spending levels as fiscal 2023 and criticized Republicans who agreed to vote for it. So this is from the Stars and Stripes. There's a little more. I'll dive into this a little bit and see if we can pick out anything else. They're going, let's see, House Speaker Mike Johnson had said he would not support additional stopgap funding deals after Congress approved a short-term spending bill in November, but relented this week as work continued on the 12 individual appropriations bills. So as we all know, it's always a lot of back and forths and, hey, I'm going to hold my vote unless I can get what I want in whatever package, right? And that's essentially what kind of always happens for those of us that have been around this block 1,000 times. There's a little bit more, but it's just kind of all the same type of stuff. I'm going to go ahead and shift gears, jump over to the VA's website, because this is where the rubber meets the road for us. In the event of a government shutdown, which does happen, sometimes they do happen, how are we impacted with regard to VA related matters? So here we go. VA contingency planning. This is directly from the VA, and it's important for you to understand what the VA's contingency plan is in the event of a government shutdown, because we can guess all day long what's going to happen, but that's not good, right? It's better to just get it straight from the horse's mouth. All right, VA contingency planning. The Department of Veterans Affairs is committed to delivering world-class health care and benefits to veterans, their families, caregivers, and survivors, even in the event of a shutdown. Veterans will still be able to access their health care, benefits, and memorial services from VA. Here is how a government shutdown would affect VA and those we serve. This is important, right? This is what we need to know. So first is the list of not impacted by the shutdown. And it looks like, 5 bullet points here. 5 bullet points. Veteran health care is not impacted. VA medical centers, outpatient clinics, and vet centers will be open. Next, VA benefits will continue to be processed and delivered, including compensation, pension, education, and housing benefits. Number 3, burials will continue at VA national cemeteries. Applications for headstones, markers, and burial benefits processing will continue. Number 4, the Board of Veterans Appeals, the BVA, will continue decisions on veterans' cases. And lastly, is VA contact centers and veterans crisis lines are open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. All right, moving on to the impacted during a government shutdown. And it looks like there are 7 bullet points here of impacted during the shutdown. All right, VA will not provide veteran career counseling or transition assistance program activities. Number 2, the GI Bill hotline will be closed. VA benefits regional offices will be closed. VA will cease public affairs and outreach to veterans. Next one, VA will not permanently place headstones or maintain the grounds at VA national cemeteries. You can order the headstones, you can do all that stuff, but it's just not going to be they're not going to be maintained and they're not going to be placed. VA will not process applications for pre-need burials, so getting pre-registered for your burial needs. Next, last one here. VA will not print new presidential memorial certificates. For those that don't know, I'm a fan of these. I think they're great. It's a great keepsake, the presidential memorial certificate. Depending on, who you want to sign it, it has to be whoever's currently in office. So whoever's currently in office will sign, well, they don't really sign it. It's a lithograph of that president's signature on. It would be great if you could go back in time and pick your president. George Washington, please, that'd be cool. But you can't. It's whoever's currently in office. Whoever's currently in office, you order these. You can order 12 of them if you want. 12 presidential memorial certificates. They're on a hard card stock paper. Big old presidential emblem on there. And then there'll be some, I guess accolades for our loved one who had passed, and thanking them for their service to the country and so forth. And then there'll be the signature of the president there on that hard stock paper. I personally like to accompany those with a flag. Now, the flag, for those that don't know, if you've hung on this long, you can, through your congressional member's website, right, because you're in a congressional member's district, go to your district's website for your congressional member, whoever it may be, and on there should be a place where you can order a flag. You can order an American flag and have it flown over the Capitol. It's just for a second, right? They run it up, they run it down, and then they send it to you. You can either have them do it as soon as possible, or you can have them fly that flag on a specific day. If there's a specific day that's important to you, you can have that flag flown on that day, and you can pick one of two messages. You can pick the kind of the preloaded message that's from the congressional member and that they had that flag flown on that day, certifying that the flag has flown over the Capitol and so forth. Or you can take a version of that, much shorter version, and then you'll have some room to add in your own custom message on that certificate for that flag. So you could say, in honor of grandma or grandpa so-and-so who served in whatever war, or whatever you want, right? So it's a great keepsake. They go well together, right? The presidential memorial certificate, the flag, the certificate with the flag, all of those things. And to me, as they get passed down generation, they actually become more valuable to the family. So with that, we'll go ahead and end it there. I really appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great one. And remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.